Hi, sorry to cut off in the middle. I'm just trying to make these videos really short so they process quickly. So again, for Essay 1, Essay 2, Essay 3, there are ways that you must cite your sources. Okay, so all of the sources that you consulted for Essay 1 must be cited in Essay 1 in what's called in-text citations. And with in-text citations, you always begin the sentence with a signal phrase. And here are some examples. So here we go. Valley Medical Center is currently hiring a nurse's aide. The June 19th ad states, comma, space, open quotation, duties include, and then blah, 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 whatever it says in the ad, close quotation mark. Okay, so the signal phrase includes Valley Medical Center, right, because that's the name of the employer, and it includes nurse's aide, that's the title of the position, and then it states the June 19th ad. We're including a little more information, which is the date the ad went out. It's not absolutely necessary, but dates are nice. People like dates. Makes everything seem very specific and real somehow. Anyway, so that's one example of beginning a sentence with a signal phrase. Here's another one that's done all in a single sentence. Fresno State's Department of Psychology webpage informs students that a bachelor's in social work is a stepping stone toward the master's in child and family counseling. And we've put quotation marks around the master's degree in child and family counseling. Again, quotation marks, you have to use them when you are quoting your source. Okay, so the signal phrase is necessary. It tells readers who is speaking and where the information comes from. They always have to be there. The signal phrase should come before all quotations, should come before all paraphrases, should come before all summaries. You always say, who is the source of the information? Okay. A quotation is marked with the quotation marks. A quotation must be selected whenever you're using any special jargon from a source that you will explain in your own words. A lot of times job ads, they're directed toward people who are already specialists in the field, but your audience is not full of specialists in the field, so you need to tell them what those abbreviations or chemicals or whatever is being talked about, you want to explain that. So if you need to include the special jargon, then do so and put it in quotation marks, and then after it, explain what it means for the non-professionals. All right, a quotation must be selected when you are borrowing a series of words or a whole sentence exactly the same as the source in the same order. So you use quotation marks when word for word, capital letter for capital letter, punctuation mark for punctuation mark, when things are identical. Okay? Now, do not borrow more than one sentence for this essay. Why? Because if you take a chunk out of a job ad and stick it in your paper, your audience is going to check out. We're going to get lost. We're not going to know why you're talking about that. And besides, it's too short for this to be needed. This is a short essay. And this essay is supposed to be about you. It's supposed to be about what you think. And quotations, they're used to help support what you're seeing. But the ideas, those belong to you. Next topic, plagiarism and how it happens and how to avoid it. The most common type of plagiarism. You might be thinking that plagiarism is the result of a student taking a whole paper from somewhere, like the internet. But that almost never happens. Instead, plagiarism happens when a student doesn't know how to summarize or paraphrase a source very well. That kind of plagiarism, that happens all the time. And it's a problem. It is plagiarism when you copy a phrase, a sentence, or more from a source. If it's exactly the same, and even if it's just very close. And then you put that sentence into your essay without checking or without caring to check. Think of the situation where you're reading a source and you see something that looks really important and you copy it down in your notebook and then you put whatever's in your notebook into your paper and you never take it apart and you never explain it and you don't do it because you don't understand it. Can't do that in your paper. The purpose of the paper is for you to explain what you see. Plagiarism happens because students don't take the time or don't have the expertise to paraphrase. So, what's a paraphrase? We're going to get to that. It is plagiarism when you copy a sentence from a source and you keep the original sentence structure and when you only change some of the words. This is classic plagiarism. It's the kind we see all the time. So, how do you avoid plagiarism? Number one, use any original special terms from a source, but put them in quotation marks, and always begin the sentence with the source named. Okay, so use quotation marks. 2, use any original phrase or sentence from a source, only if it adds flavor to your work, but put them in quotation marks, and always begin the sentence with the source named. Now, if you find yourself using any original language from a source just to present information, cut it. We are not reading your paper to read your job ad. If we want to read your job ad, we'll go look for it. We need your paper to say what you have to say about it. So, if you're quoting just to present information, don't quote. Explain what the information is. Rethink what you're trying to communicate in your paragraph. And write it in the way you would say it to a classmate. But maybe cleaner, maybe better organized. And of course, still cite the source, but paraphrase or summarize instead of quoting. Okay? So, information should never be quoted. Information should always be paraphrased or summarized. Now, what's a paraphrase? In addition to changing the words in the source, a good paraphrase changes the sentence structure so that it goes with the flow of your own paragraph. You need to chip it down and make it fit. Turn it over. That's the best way. Change the sentence structure. Make it fit the flow of your own paragraph. Okay? And again, you're going to start with a signal phrase identifying the source. Always do that if you're quoting, paraphrasing, or summarizing. Okay, this is a good place to stop.